Okay, my friends, we're looking at that 2 point lesson. This is part two. So we have our four inequalities and we have four graphs, and we're going to be matching them. So the first one that I see is looking at the distance from 3 is less than or equal to 1. So if we're thinking about the distance from 3, right? 1 away from 3 is 4, and 1 behind 3 is 2. So we're going to be between 2 and 4. That's our distance of 1. It's not equal to it, so it's open circle. And then we're looking for any distance that's less than that. So it's going to be this tiny little segment between 2 and 4. So I see that right here is our first one. There's that small segment between 2 and 4. And they're both, all of those solutions are less than 1 away. For the next one, we're looking at the distance from 1. And that distance from 1 is greater than or equal to 3. So 3 away from 1 is 4. 3 behind 1 is -2. So we are looking at the distance between -2, or we have a point at -2 and a point at 4. And we're looking for a distance that's bigger than 3. So it's going to be going outside for all those distance that are even further than 3 away. So we're going from -2 to 4, and -2 to 4, and we're going outside of it because we're looking for those distances that are even greater than 1, even further away from 1. The next one is looking again at the distance from 1, and this distance is less than 3 away. So this is going to be our maximum distance away. Open circles at 2 and 4, but now we're looking at the space that's even between -2 and +4. Beautiful. Our last one is looking at distances from 3. Looking in the absolute value bars, how far are we from 3? And we're greater than 1 space away. So 1 space away from 3 is 2 and 4. Open circles at those values, and we're looking for ones that are greater than that, so they're going to be arrowing to the left and to the right at 2 and 4. Beautiful. Once you have everything that you need here, push ahead to slide 11. Raven wants to use the graph of x minus 1 is greater than 3. The absolute value of x minus 1 is greater than 3. To help her make the graph of the absolute value of x plus 1 is greater than 3. How would these solutions be alike, and how would they be different? Graph all the solutions to x, the absolute value of x plus 1 greater than 3. So when we start to see this absolute value of x plus 1. Now we have a plus, an addition symbol in the absolute value bars. So we can think of this as x minus a -1. So we're looking at the distance from -1. But when we have minus a negative, like we do right here, we would simplify and just change that to a plus. So for this one, instead of being 3 units away from +1 here, we are going 3 units away from -1. So our graph is focused here. Make sure you're drawing this on your graph as well. 1, 2, 3 away from -1 is a +2, and 1, 2, 3 away from -1 is a -4. It's still looking at that distance that's greater, so we're still going to be having our arrows to the left and to the right, just like we see above. But instead of focused at +1, we're focused at -1. So that's our similarity and our differences between these two graphs. Okay. When you're all set, go to slide 12. There are many challenges on this screen. This is that repeated challenge. So this is built in for you to get that extra practice. Make sure you are doing many of these. It says, graph all the solutions to this inequality. The absolute value of x is less than or equal to 2. So for this first one, the distance, if we don't see a number in there, we're essentially looking at the distance from 0, right? X minus 0. So 2 away from 0 is a positive 2. 2 away from 0 the other direction is a negative 2. It is less than or equal to, so we're going to make these circles solid. And since it's less than, we're shading in between all of those distances that are even closer to 0. So here's our graph. We can check our work. Beautiful. Let's try another one. The absolute value of x being greater than or equal to positive 5. So again, when we don't see a number in there, it's the distance from 0. So 5 away from 0 is positive 5, and in the other direction it'd be negative 5. It is or equal to, it has that line underneath, so we want to fill in those circles. And then if it's greater, right, if we're looking for distances that are even farther away, we are shading outside to the left and to the right. Beautiful. Awesome. Let's try another one. Now we're looking at x minus 3, the absolute value of x minus 3 equals 1. So we're looking at the distance from 3, and it's a 1 distance away. So 1 above 3 is 4, 1 below 3 is 2, and it's equal to 1. So we're just filling in those circles because the absolute value is equal to 1. It's not less than, it's not greater than, it's just equal to, so we're doing filled in circles. And there's no shaded because it's not an inequality, it's an equation. Let's do one more together. The absolute value of x minus 2 is greater than 4. So we're looking at the difference from 2 is bigger than 4. So if we start at 2, we go to the right 4, and we end up at 6. And if we start at 2 and go to the left 4, we end up at negative 2. Since it's just greater than, it's going to be open circles, and greater shades to the left and to the right, spreading that distance out both directions. Try a few more of these, see how you feel. Pause the video when you're all set. Push ahead to slide 13. Slide 13 is our synthesis slide, so you're describing a strategy that you would use to solve the solutions to the absolute value equations and inequalities. You can use this practice screen on the left if you want, but I just want you to kind of like explain how we go through these values. How have we been solving these equations or inequalities? What are some important things that we've been talking about and practicing throughout this lesson? Pause the video and take some time here to explain your thinking on how we've been working through those problems. And then we have one more on slide 14, which says graph all the solutions to the absolute value of x plus 1 is greater than or equal to negative 2. Now, we're looking at the distance from negative 1. Remember, when we see this plus sign here, we got to remember it was x minus a negative 1. So the distance from negative 1 is going to be greater than or equal to 2. So if we go to negative 1, it is greater than or equal to, so it's going to be a closed circle. If we start at negative 1, 2 distances away from negative 1 is positive 1, and 2 distances the other direction is a negative 3. And then it's greater, so it can be bigger than 2 spaces away from negative 1. So we want to shade to the left and to the right when we're looking at greater. Okay. And on slide 15, you are reflecting and thinking about this lesson. So take some time to look at that reflection. And when you're all set, submit this into Schoology. Nice work, everyone. Take care. See you for the lesson 2.11 practice. Bye, friends.